They say hunger can make a good man forget his conscience. Kolu stood at the edge of the village square, his stomach twisting like a snake inside him. Beside him was his little sister, Bimbo. Her cheeks were hollow, her faded gown hanging loosely on her thin body. For 3 days, they had eaten nothing but water and silent prayers. And yet, before them, the burial of Chief Obi looked like a festival of kings. Drummers beat loudly. Women wailed dramatically. Wealthy men in flowing agbadas sprayed bundles of crisp money into the open grave. The mahogany casket gleamed under the sun like royalty even in death. Then it happened. One of the richest elders stepped forward and dropped a heavy gold chain and a shining golden ring into the grave. The gold sparkled. It mocked Kolu's poverty. "Bimbo," Kolu whispered, envy burning in his voice. "That chain alone could feed us for 10 years. "It belongs to the dead," Bimbo replied softly. "Let us go home." But that night, hunger spoke louder than wisdom. In their broken mud hut, Kolu could not rest. He paced like a trapped animal. "What does a dead man need with gold?" he muttered. "He cannot eat. He cannot spend. Why should treasure rot in the soil while we starve?" "Kolu, don't," Bimbo pleaded. "Mother always said money buried with the dead carries a curse." But desperation had already closed his ears. That midnight, under a sky with no moon, Kolu crept to the cemetery. The air was thick, cold, heavy. A strange fog rolled across the graves as if the earth itself was breathing. Every sound felt alive. Every shadow seemed to move. Still, Kolu dug. His fingers bled. His heart pounded like a drum of war. Then, his hand touched something solid. The gold. The money. The moment he grabbed them, a deep, guttural moan echoed from beneath the earth. The wind howled violently. But Kolu ran. The next morning, he poured the gold and cash onto the floor of their hut. Bimbo stepped back in fear. "Take it back," she whispered. "This wealth is not clean. I would rather starve than eat from the grave." "Then starve," Kolu snapped. "I am done being poor." Within 3 months, the impossible happened. Kolu became the richest young man in the village. He built a mansion taller than the chief's palace. He bought a sleek black car. He wore imported silks and gold watches. The same people who once ignored him now bowed when he passed. But Bimbo. He left her in the old leaking hut. She still sold roasted corn by the roadside. Kolu spent his nights in the city, drinking expensive champagne, surrounded by women who loved his money, not his soul. He mocked his old friends. "Work harder," he would shout at Tayo, throwing half-eaten bread into the dust. "Maybe in 20 years you'll afford my car tires." The village whispered about his mysterious wealth. But no one knew the truth. Then, the dreams began. Every night, Chief Obi stood at the foot of Kolu's bed. His eyes were hollow. His mouth was filled with soil. The gold chain hung around his neck, but it was burning red like fire. "Kolu," the dead chief whispered, "return what belongs to the earth." Kolu would wake up screaming, drenched in sweat. Soon, the dreams turned into shadows in his room. Then came the sickness. Doctors found nothing. Herbalists found nothing. But Kolu's body began to rot from the inside. His skin darkened. His wealth vanished mysteriously. Business deals failed, money disappeared, his car caught fire, and his mansion developed cracks like it was sinking. The prostitutes stopped answering his calls. His friends vanished. Within months, the richest man in the village became poorer than he had ever been. Only Bimbo remained by his side. And one night, as thunder shook the sky, Kolu crawled to his sister and whispered with his last breath, "I should have listened." The next morning, they found him cold. And on his chest lay the same gold chain, covered in fresh soil. Moral of the story: wealth taken from darkness never brings light. What belongs to the ancestors must remain with the ancestors. If you love powerful African folktales about greed, destiny, betrayal, and divine justice, Make sure you subscribe to African Folktales and turn on notifications, because some lessons are only learned the hard way. Every night, Ku found himself back in the grave. But this time, he was not the thief. He was the one being buried alive. In his dreams, cold soil filled his mouth. His hands were pinned down. And sitting heavily on his chest was Chief Obi, silent, expressionless, watching him struggle for breath. Ku would try to scream, but dirt poured into his throat. Then it stopped being just dreams. He began waking up with deep scratches across his back. Long red marks like claws had dragged across his skin. His room would grow cold without reason. And in the darkness, a voice would whisper, "You spent my money. Now it is time to eat from you." A deep, terrifying laugh followed. The walls trembled. The windows shook violently as if the house itself wanted to collapse on him. One afternoon, while drinking at a crowded bar, his glass suddenly shattered in his hand. Blood dripped down his fingers. No one reacted. But Ku heard it clearly. The interest is due. Ku. Terrified, he ran to the great seer, the feared witch doctor who lived inside a cave of shadows at the edge of the forest. The old man did not even look up from the bones spread before him. "It is too late," the seer said quietly. "The dead man has claimed your mind. You stole his honor and his wealth in secret. Now he will take your sanity in public." Ku fell to his knees. "Please. There must be something I can do. In 7 days," the seer continued, "you will lose everything. Nothing can stop what has already been invited." That night, shaking with fear, Ku crawled back to the graveyard. He threw the remaining gold and money onto Chief Obi's grave. "Forgive me," he cried. "Take it back." The ground trembled. The soil cracked open. From the mound rose a tall, skeletal shadow, the spirit of Chief Obi. His eyes burned like dying embers. "You used my wealth to mock the poor," the spirit's voice thundered. "You forgot your blood. You forgot your sister. You forgot where you came from." A shimmering spectral whip appeared in the spirit's hand. It struck Ku across the face. The pain was like liquid fire. Ku ran, screaming, while the laughter of the dead chased him through the night. Then the 7th day came. Ku did not wake up as a king. He woke up screaming at shadows no one else could see. He tore off his expensive clothes and ran into the village square. He barked like a stray dog. He rolled in the sand. He ate dirt with trembling hands. The richest man in the village had lost his mind. The news spread like wildfire. Villagers gathered, the same people he once mocked. "Where is your car now?" one man laughed. "Can your mansion protect you from madness?" Tayo asked sadly. But through the crowd came Bimbo. She did not laugh. She removed her shawl and gently covered her naked, trembling brother. While others mocked him, she held him. She led him home. Today, Ku's great mansion stands abandoned. Cracked walls, broken windows, swallowed by weeds. But at the edge of the village, outside the same old mud hut, sits Bimbo. Older. Tired. Selling roasted corn under the hot sun. Inside the hut, chained carefully to a wooden post so he will not harm himself, sits Ku. The man who once had everything. Now he stares into emptiness. Bimbo bathes him when he cries. She feeds him from the little she earns. She whispers prayers into his ears. In the end, the only thing Ku had left was the sister he once abandoned. And the invisible chains of the dead. Moral of the story. Greed may lift you quickly, but it can destroy you publicly. What is stolen in darkness will be repaid in light. Thank you for watching this powerful African folktale. What lesson did you learn from Ku's story? Share your thoughts in the comments section. I would love to hear from you. Another interesting and emotional episode is coming very soon. So make sure you subscribe to African Folktales, like this video, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a story filled with deep lessons, destiny, and divine justice. And if this story touched your heart, please share it with your family and friends. See you in the next story.